adjust my face so I don't have to look at my big face in front of my first monitor.
Don't want to talk to yourself or anything like that. All right. 3, 2, 1. The daddy of DBD, the pop king, Paulie, almost a millionaire Esther. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Doing great, MrGimms. Good to see you. How are you feeling today?
Good. I'm you just asked my wife. I'm really happy to finally have you on. I wanted to have you on first. You were always the first pick, but I didn't want to bother you. And that's like my biggest weakness, is I just don't want to annoy people with anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the answer to that. But I finally got you on. How's your weekend been so far, man?
Pretty good. Been watching TV with my son, and my wife's working this weekend, so just having like a Bachelor Boys weekend while she's working. But yeah, and it's not a bother, man. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, so you got to take your shots, man. You got to shoot your shots. You never know.
That's true.
I'm happy to be here.
I think it's a lot of people think I'm very confident and stuff like that, and it couldn't be anything different. When I spoke to the king, it was very much the same as well. He told me, you got to take your shots, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this, do that, talk to Matthew Cote, all that. You've got to take a chance. So I need to start taking some more chances.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Well, if you didn't know already, Paulie Esther is a YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer. He also has an alternate channel on YouTube called Paulie Pops, which I do watch because I'm kind of getting into that area of collectibles now more than ever. I already have my Funko FNAF Funkos. Yeah, FNAF Funkos. And I'm looking to collect a lot more, especially with DVDs around the corner. The links to everything Paulie Esther will be in the description below, as well as cards in the top right-hand corner. So please do check it out. He is worth your time. He is extremely funny, especially with his stream loots added to his streams as well. I think they're very funny. But first questions first. When did you start making content on YouTube? Because I actually don't know this. And why did you do it?
I don't know the actual start date. I think it says my YouTube channel's been around since 2013, but I don't think I was making content for the first couple of years. I just had a channel or an account, I guess. So it's probably I want to say 2015-ish. Okay. And it all started with, my son and I used to watch a lot of the Let's Play people on YouTube. He was very enamored with them, the Jacksepticeye's of the world, Markiplier, PewDiePie, things like that. Mm-hmm. And at first, I didn't get it, right? This was before I was really doing any gaming even. And I would say, well, why would you want to watch somebody play a game when you could just play it yourself? This doesn't make sense to me. And then he would say, yeah, you're right, Dad. Why would you watch people play football when you could go play it yourself? Why would you watch people play baseball when you could go play it yourself? And I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You have just immediately changed my mind on the whole situation. And so, I started watching it with him, and I enjoyed it with him, saw the humor, the entertainment value that, the Jacksepticeye's and Markipliers of the world brought. And we bonded over it. We used to watch their content. It was back when Jack was doing religiously 2 videos a day, and we would, they were always at the same time. We'd watch them. And, as a father, you want to guide your son, and you really like this, huh? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, would you want to do it? And he's like, I don't know. And I would say, I always encourage people to chase their dreams and don't let people tell you that you can't do things and that. And I would say, well, you could do this. And he's like, no, I could never do this. And I said to him, I'm like, are you kidding me? Anybody can do this. And, in hindsight now, that was such a crazy statement for me to make, because not everybody can do it, right? But with my bravado in wanting to prove to him that anybody could do it, I said, I'll show you. I'm going to do it.
Wow.
So I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you anybody can do this. And, it's a hard road. Not everybody can do this. So basically, I stole my son's dream, is what I'm trying to say. So I, me setting out to prove to him that how easy it was wound up me doing Let's Plays. And here we are today. So
And you also
Yeah.
have found out at the same time it's not easy.
No, it's definitely not easy. Like
Yeah.
it's such a ludicrous statement at the beginning for me to have that point of view to just say anybody can do this. All you have to do is sit down and play a video game. Give me a break, right? There's
Yeah.
obviously so much more to it.
It's kind of a sweet story, though. I mean, it kind of went out as sort of an innocent bet, and then you've actually gone on to be successful on YouTube and Twitch now, which is incredible. So that's a good start.
Yeah, it's a journey that I never would have
No.
imagined that this is where I'd be today with starting all of that. And then it wound up that he just decided that he was just comfortable to just continue watching Let's Plays, enjoying them, and not pursue that for himself. So he's happy to watch me do it.
Does he
kind
not
of
have a
thing.
channel?
So,
Oh, I might have heard that he had a channel.
I mean, like he did, but not
Okay.
not really that he pursued it
Okay.
in depth. So
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
yeah.
Well, just on that, next question. Any tips for anyone getting into the trade? Being that you sort of accidentally kind of jumped into it, but yeah.
Well, I once heard a streamer give some advice that I thought was very appropriate. So I'll just pass that along to you. I feel like to give yourself the most success as far as content creation, streaming, is you have to be able to tick some boxes in 3 different areas.
Mhm.
You have to be entertaining is one.
Mhm.
You have to be engaged. You have to have engagement with your community is 2, and you have to be good at the game is 3. Now you don't have to be able to tick all 3 of those boxes,
Yeah.
but you have to be able to tick at least 2 of them.
Mhm.
Because if you can't tick at least 2 of them, you're not going to go anywhere. You could be the best person at the game, but not be entertaining
Mm.
and not be engaging with your community, and you're not going to succeed. So you have to be able to tick at least 2 boxes. You can be bad at the game.
Yep.
Me.
You're
But
not.
if you can be entertaining and engage with your community, you can get away with being bad because people will appreciate the one-on-one feeling of communicating with your viewers through the camera, and you bring the entertainment value, so you can get away with being bad. You can be good at the game and be entertaining and ignore your community entirely, and you can get away with that too, right? There's examples of that. I'm not gonna name any names, but there's definitely examples of that, right? So so that was have found that theory has proven to be pretty sound. So
it's a good formula.
Once I heard that, I decided that I was never going to get out engaged with my community, because that's the easy one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy one.
Yep.
And then you just have to figure out the other 2.
Yep.
So
yeah, for me, I did tick other boxes, but community catapulted me. Just the fact that I was paying attention to the community, hanging out with my community, talking with them, and I even do still to this day, the members nights, is just, it catapults you because people become friends. And when people become friends, that's game over. It's a snowball, and then more friends come, and every members nights they get bigger. And it's a kind of a secret. I've said this to my admin, but that I no longer do members night for them. It's become that now. And when you're doing members night for yourself to hang out and have a good night, that's a really good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a mutual appreciation society, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah, exactly. And it's a night for me to relax.
And they appreciate being appreciated.
Yeah.
They appreciate being recognized, acknowledged for spending their time. Because let's face it, we have more choice in the world today than ever before.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
So
yeah, across industries. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
This one's important. I've never really heard your interpretation on this, but what does horror mean to you? How has it affected your life in general? And who do you enjoy? And why do you enjoy the horror genre as one of your things that you've pushed to the top?
I would say that I'm more of a casual horror enjoyer. I'm not a diehard.
Yep.
I'm honestly kind of a wussy for scary movies. Like there's like some series of scary movies that I have yet to watch because I kind of don't want to watch them by myself, and my family doesn't want to watch them with me. I haven't seen any of The Conjuring. I want to see Conjuring so
Oh,
bad,
do yourself a
but I'm
favor.
scared of it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a wussy for scary movies. I'm like the guy who's got like the blanket up and watching it and stuff. And you know, I watched some scary stuff as a kid, like Omen, Amityville
Oh, yeah.
Horror. Those were the things that were like when I was growing up. Oh my god, this is so scary.
Yeah.
Exorcist, that kind of stuff. And
Mm.
I have an appreciation for it. I do like it. I like the genre and have an affinity for it. But I'm not like horror all the time.
Yeah.
Even Dead by Daylight, I don't really feel like it's a horror game, even though it tips the hat to
Yeah.
horror. It isn't a game that terrifies me,
No.
right? It's more of a competitive game. I love the competitive aspect
Yep.
of Dead by Daylight. Like I played Layers of Fear on my channel before I ever started playing Dead by Daylight, and I probably took twice as long as any other Let's Play on Layers of Fear because I was so scared to go around every corner of the hallways in that game. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm a big wussy.
You probably wouldn't do too well with Outlast or Alien Isolation then.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have played Alien Isolation. That's one of my top games. I love it. I haven't finished it, but oh man, I love that game. I think it's one of my favorite games.
I recently played through it on the streams and 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
I reached one spot where I kind of got lost and I didn't know where I was going. I'm like, I wasn't making any progress. So I got frustrated and I stopped and I never went back to it. And then I just, yeah.
It was awesome.
But,
loved it.
Yeah. I think it's an incredible game. I couldn't recommend it enough.
I love horror. I'm definitely with you in the fact that I'm not a diehard. I definitely love horror though. But I don't like horror games. So like FNAF, like the jump scare part of it, and Alien Isolation, and I'm actually putting off Outlast a little bit too because I've seen what it looks like, and I don't like that. With a movie, I can control the situation. I can press pause, walk away, go get some popcorn or whatever I need to do. But when I'm in a game streaming in front of people, I have nothing but to go forward, and I don't like that. I haven't told anyone this before, so
I've seen some people do Let's Plays on Outlast, and I'm like, nope.
Nah, it looks terrible. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I've watched other people play it, and it's too much for me. But yeah, you love horror. That's what brought you to Dead by Daylight, I'd imagine, and the fact that you can sort of dip in with every sort of killer icon, pretty much now, anyway. That's something that you really enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like when I was first introduced to Dead by Daylight, it was right around launch. Somebody showed me the trailer, and I was like, "Video games can be like this? I didn't even know you could do this in a video game." And I'm like, "What do I have to do to get this?" I didn't even. Did I have Steam? Maybe I probably had Steam then. I would imagine. I don't know. But I needed to like my handheld to figure out how to get the game and stuff. And they're like, and Michael Myers is coming in October. And I was like, that's all I needed to hear. I was like, I am in. I need to play this now.
Yeah, it came up on my Steam recommended about 4 months after release, so I missed the beta and everything like that. But all my friend told me was, oh yeah, you can just be a killer. And I was just like, all right, 15 quid, let's go. Just the fact that you can be a killer was enough for me. And I didn't touch Survivor for like 2.5 years. So
see, I was the reverse. I just wanted to be Survivor. I was like, I want to be the underdog. I want to be the person who's not supposed to survive.
Yeah.
So I didn't play killer for a long time.
Yeah. Now I love both. I love both roles now. So it's good.
Almost all the time when I'm playing off stream now, unless a friend asks me to play with them, when I'm playing just by myself, I'm playing killer.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the opposite for me.
Yeah.
I chill, play Survivor, take my time with things. I don't have to just be intense all the time. Like, I mean, it does have intense moments, but it's just sometimes you're just on all the time for killer. And I
think it's super important to play both roles, don't you? Like, just to have an understanding of how the killer works and what they can do against you. For anybody coming in, they for sure should
100%
be playing both roles.
100%. You can get good at a role and take your time with it, but you're essentially missing out on 50% of the game as well. Like, that's a large chunk. Like, you're playing one role. And to learn Killer and Survivor is a good way to learn how they all work and how to beat them. So, yeah, 100%. Right. Talk to us about being a fog whisperer. Now, I know you are part of the original 10. How does that feel? How does it feel back then, and how does it feel now today?
All right, well, I'll tell you another long drawn out story. I don't know if you're going to edit these or what you're
No,
going to
no,
do.
no. It's all no, no. Go on.
Okay, so I was in Las Vegas with my wife. And my son. We were celebrating our wedding anniversary with a trip away. I guess this would have been 2018. Yeah, yeah. So it's 2018, September 2018. I'm in the hotel. I'm just checking my email in the morning before we get ready for our day, and I got an email from Not Queen saying they're going to start this pilot fog whisperer program with only 10 people, and did I want in? And I was like,
Mm.
what? Me? Hello, did you send this to the wrong person? And yeah, I was obviously I emailed her back and like, yeah, I went in. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I told her I was interested. Um and like you said, there's only 10 people and only 6 of them were English speakers. There
Mm-hmm.
was German, Chinese, I forget what the other 4 were, but only 6 of the English
Yeah.
speakers. And yeah, I just didn't know what to expect, but I was obviously honored to be thought of, and I had a lot of questions or concerns, some imposter syndrome, I would say, going along with that, thinking, why me? If I was organizing this program, would I have picked me? I'm not
Oh
as
yeah.
big as a lot of other people in our community. I think at the time I probably had I would say between 15,000 and 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. So,
Mm-hmm.
small fry-ish, I guess,
Mm.
relative to many other people.
I think it's about your
And
personality more, man. Honestly.
well, yeah, I had a conversation with my Twitch rep before, and they're like, "Well, I know why they picked you," and I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
why?" And they said, "Well, because you're mature and they can rely on you. They know what to expect. You're
Yep.
not a wild card. They know
Mm.
what they're going to get from you in the way that you're going to represent them." And I was like, "Okay."
Mm.
So, yeah, I did, like I said, have a bit of imposter syndrome with that, whether I was worthy or not. And eventually I just made up my mind because you see a lot of that. Well, why isn't this person a fog whisperer? Who are these people? Why didn't they
Yeah.
pick XYZ? And I struggled with that briefly, where I was, and then I just made up my mind. I'm not gonna apologize for being chosen.
No.
Like, so,
As you're saying,
just
take opportunities. As you're saying.
yeah. So I was very grateful to have been chosen, and
Mm.
it means a lot to me because the game of Dead by Daylight means a lot to me,
Yeah.
and to be thought of in that regard, to be an ambassador for the game,
Mm.
you know, I I have an appreciation for it. I will say that I don't think it means as much to everybody
No.
as it means to me,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody has to walk their own path in life and things like that. So I know what it means to me, and that's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah. And how does it feel now? Like, obviously, it was an honor at the time. You did your conversations with Not Queen and everything else like that. But how does it feel this many years on? Because that's a long gig. That's a long gig.
I guess we'll be coming up on 4 years
Yeah.
in September, I guess. But yeah, I don't want to give it up. I'm happy to have it. It still means a lot to me that they put that trust in me to be an ambassador.
Yep.
There's a lot of misperceptions that goes along with that. I don't know if you
Yeah.
have further
No.
questions on this part down the road, but there's a lot of misperceptions that goes along with that, and people look at you side eyed. But
I don't
deep
think
down, I
people
know.
understand the role. I don't think they
Yeah,
understand what it
yeah.
is.
It's like sometimes they think that I have to go into a meeting and have an agenda that I have to
Yep.
press every morning or something, and
Yep.
I really don't have a lot of contact.
Yep.
So, what I do is what I choose to do.
Yep.
It's the best way I can explain it.
Mm.
So, I'm the same person that I was before they picked me. I've always been kind of like, the voice of reason, um,
You
understanding
you
that. there's a human element involved in this game. Mistakes are going to be made. There's going to be bugs, things like that, you know?
You've been the voice
So,
of reason for many people, including myself at times. So, yeah, I can understand why they trust you with that. For me, I spoke to King about it, and to him, I mean, I don't think he was surprised to hear it, but I held the Fog Whisperer extremely high because it's a representative of the company. That's that. Well, the game. And to me, that is high. Like that is you are representing the game. You're supposed to be pushing this awesome product out there. But the misconceptions are surrounding that process is what bugs people, I think, and it bugs me too. I answer about 4 or 5 comments maybe every week about just people going, "Oh, well, they're on the payroll," and I just okay, all right, buddy. I think you misunderstand.
Matthew, can I get 3.5 years of back pay, please? Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
My check seemed to have been lost in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. That bugs me as well because it's sort of, yeah, it just. My daughter's just saying goodnight. But yeah, it's misconceptions and stuff like that that people don't research things properly. And it just, yeah, can be annoying, especially for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny when you see things like, oh, well, Fog Whisperers are contractually obligated to only be positive about the game. And it's like,
Yeah.
Have you ever watched so-and-so's content? Have you ever watched so-and-so's content? Like, they always have lots of different things to say about the game, and they're Fog Whisperers. So that invalidates what you've said. So it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I was getting ready for work then the other morning, and the King's video was on, and he didn't agree with everything. He in his last video, if people must miss it or they gloss past it, but he'll say like, "I really like that they're working on this. This is a really good idea. I'm really happy for it. This part, I wasn't too crash hard on this part. What they said is da 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 da." And I thought he was supposed to keep saying yes and nod, but he doesn't. So people must they miss that part.
And they don't get credit for it, right? So
No.
I just decided, well, you know, those people that for them, perception is reality, and they have their mind made up. They're not your viewer. They're not going to tune into you and decide to change their mind. They've just made up their mind already, and they're not ever going to be your viewer.
Yeah.
So, you know, look, I've always said you can't make everybody happy. At the end of the day, you and we both have to look in the mirror, and do what's right for me and what I believe and things like that. And I'm coming. Look, as long as people are going to hate you no matter what, people are going to like you, and you can't pick who they are. So you should just be yourself. And then all I ask from anybody is that if you don't have to agree with me all the time, but as long as you know that what I'm saying is coming from a place of honesty and it's my truth and I believe it, then accept that. Yeah. But like I said, you don't have to agree with me. You and I haven't always agreed on everything.
No,
right?
No.
And I don't ever feel like, I only want to be around people who agree with me, because I don't think echo chambers are productive.
No.
I always like to hear what other people have to think, what other people have to say and think, so that I can get their perspective. I think perspective is very valuable. Yeah. To hear other people's viewpoints and things like that. And so
it's a very large area to cover too. Like getting perspective from others is good because it's a clearer picture. But you don't have to always agree with somebody just to at least respect that where it's coming from.
Yeah, and that doesn't even just go for this game. That goes for life, right? Politics, right? You know, you can still be friends with somebody who votes on the other side of the floor or whatever. Yeah. Have differing beliefs. Yeah. Doesn't mean that you can't have relationships with those people anymore just because they aren't in your echo chamber, right? Like
exactly.
What kind of a world would that be?
Yeah.
But
100%. All right. Dead by Daylight as a game, how are you feeling about its current direction starting now from 2022 onwards? How are you feeling about where it is? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's obviously areas that we can improve upon. I would love to see a few different things fixed. But also there have been things that have been good changes. I would say the hits are the cleanest they've ever been. Now the feedback is a problem, right? And supposedly this patch coming out next week is going to fix some of that, because like I said, I've been playing killer in my off time, right? And there's nothing that feels worse than when you hear the survivor scream and they keep on running,
With the
right?
dead hard.
And I've had games where I get that like 6 times a game,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, wow. And the feeling isn't great, but at the end of the day, it's like the referees of Dead by Daylight, and you want them to get the call right. You know what I mean? So you want the correct call made, and I understand why we have that sound feedback that maybe confuses you, because these hit validations are happening within microseconds, and it's too short of a time to bring back the audio cue.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel great from the killer side. So I don't know. The new patch is supposed to clean that up a little bit.
Apparently quite a lot, actually, because they said most of the time. So I'm looking forward to that. If it happened 50% of the time less, I'd be like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. I want them to get the call right, but I also don't want to have to feel like I got to confirm my kill on the HUD every time I swing my weapon, you know? Are they down? Are they really down? Or is it a fake down, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's welcome. Obviously, the hacker thing is a big issue.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go in depth on this now, or do you have a
go on.
Okay, so like I remember that I am not a contractual employee with behavior, so my opinions are my own. I don't speak for the company.
I'll cut this bit out of the podcast.
So I will say that I believe it's beyond time for resources to be invested in cleaning up the game. I personally don't encounter a lot of cheaters, hackers. I think I encountered 2 all of last year, so knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that's the typical experience for the average player. From what I see, I don't know. I mean, I can only interpret what I see in the community from complaints about it. So I don't know if there are many people who aren't having those kind of encounters, so they aren't reporting. I haven't had any hackers, but it seems like it's getting out of hand, and maybe exponentially so. I'm not sure. Like, it does seem like a growing group of people who are abusing the game, and I think we all want a fair game.
Yep.
So I think it's beyond time for behavior to invest in some sort of an anti-cheat system to clean up the game. Now, again, there's supposed to be in this patch, there's supposed to be some vulnerabilities that are fixed, but we don't know what it is, and obviously they don't want to say what it is because they don't want to tip off the hackers. So, but I would like to see large investment in that. This may even be going on right now. We don't really know.
Might be.
They touched on it a little bit in the dev podcast, where they said we don't want to tip off the cheaters. But I think with that answer, like, I think the community wants and deserves even vague reassurance that they acknowledge it and they're taking steps, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of the answer they gave was like, well, we don't want to tell the hackers what we're doing. Like, well, I'm not asking you to tell the hackers what you're doing. I just want you to tell me that you're doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. That's definitely one of the... that's got to be probably one of the top, if not the top area for me.
Yep.
Where things need shoring up, even though it doesn't affect me directly, right? Just for the good of the game, the good of the community. What's good for the community is good for me, because it helps maintain the player base. If we have too many players who are affected by hackers and go, forget it, every time I play them against a cheater, I'm done. That's bad for me. That's bad for you. That's bad for everybody. So yeah, it's time to make investment, I would say.
That's fair. I'm kind of like you. So I went 4 years with maybe 1 or 2 hackers ever. And I'm not trying to be rude or whatever, but people were saying the game was being hacked to shit years ago. People were saying, oh, I get hackers all the time. It was either A, I was lucky, or B, I just didn't notice it. And then recently, obviously, it has spiked up. But typically, I'll only get maybe one a week, maybe a fortnight, where there are people reporting like hundreds of hackers in a week. And obviously, you got to look at the stats. I don't mean to be, with the stats thing, but I think people might embellish things as well as they don't embellish things. I think it's sort of a tippy chart sort of thing. But I am like you. I do not see hackers all the time, but I have a lot of people coming to me saying I get hackers all the time. So it's sort of like, okay, well, I must be really lucky then because I don't see it every day.
And then it depends on what your perspective is. Like,
yeah.
Stretch Res, for example, right? That's one that's like, a lot of people are doing it. I wouldn't do it. I don't have any interest in doing it.
I hate the idea of it.
Yeah. And people say it doesn't give you any advantage. I'm like, well, why are you doing it then? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it doesn't give you any advantage, screw it off.
Screw the advantage. It looks like trash. It makes your game look like trash, and DVD looks good when it's just normal. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I found out about these stealth hackers, which is like
micros,
just the micro with the extra percentages that are super hard to detect. And I'm like, dang, that's so dirty. Like, how can you even feel like any pride or sense of accomplishment in your wins when you're doing that stuff? It's just like, it's so hollow. It's the hollowest of victories. Why? But I don't know.
We've seen a few of those on my stream, but I have to literally rewind my stream with chat, watch it back.
Yeah, they're very,
very, very like like tiny. Even just a little bit tinier, faster a run around the shack when you're not visible. So they just do a quick little like push, and that little extra bit just keeps them in front for another loop, and it's frustrating. It can be very frustrating. Killers hacking as well. It's not just one side. Killers are hacking too, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you see people that are like, they don't have any aura perks. They pick somebody up and they're like looking around to see where everybody is. I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
What are you doing there? Like, and then they head straight across map to somebody. Yeah, they don't even have barbecue, and it's like they know where the next target is. Like, what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It just I've never believed in hacking games. That's just that's where I stand. Multiplayer games anyway. If you want to mod the hell out of Skyrim, ladies and gentlemen, go for gold. It's a single player game. You know what I mean? I do it. Right, yeah. So this is interesting. Do you have contact with the devs? What does being a fog whisperer allow? Do they listen to you guys at all? And gals? Can you fill us in on this one a little bit?
Okay, so I'm going to try and say this in a way that I don't know what I'm allowed to say about this.
Make sure you're within your parameters. I don't want to get you in trouble.
I mean, it's not like I can, pick up the phone and go, hey, Matthew, I got a hacker here. Can you ban him? Okay. But if there's something that somebody brings to my attention on Twitter that this isn't working, there's a bug here, there's a sticky spot on a hill, those kind of things, I can fast track it. I don't even know if fast track is the right wording. I can make sure that it gets the attention of the right person, that they see it, instead of going through thousands of reports. I don't know what their report system looks like. I don't know how intensive that is, but I can go, hey, this is broken on this map. You might want to look at this. And it's kind of a one-way street. They don't write back to me, hey, Paulie, thank you. But it just kind of gets put in an inbox and it gets looked at.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that it has results, because I've seen situations where the next day a map gets turned off.
Yeah.
Based on something that I reported. So I'm like, okay, I guess the message got through. Yep. And they're gonna work on fixing that. Like, there was a was it?
Were you the reason why Dead Dog Saloon got turned off the 20th time, or?
No comment. There was a time where you couldn't be hit in certain spots near the gate on the temple maps, and people knew it. So that was one that I reported, and it got turned off. That kind of thing, right? Because nobody wants to have that stuff or when breakdown was broken, those kind of things, right?
Oh my god!
So that's the kind of stuff that I can show people and go, look at this. This is bad. People are figuring it out and they are exploiting it. It needs to get cleaned up. But again, I just put it in the suggestion box, like
Yep.
suggestion for fixes. These are problems, and I don't ever like hear back. But I know most likely, like 99% certain, it gets seen and
Well, the fact that it's
looked at.
a tab where you would put that in, there wouldn't be a
Yeah.
created tab unless they're looking at it. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. So that's the kind of thing. But I don't have like there's no like Matthew Cote always be cosmeticing, Paulie. Remember, we got cosmetics today. Get out there and sell them, everybody. That doesn't happen.
Little team meeting in the morning.
Those are never things that happen. It's just like I make videos and I stream when new cosmetics come out because it's content, right? And people want to see it. They want to look at the cosmetic and they'll say, Paulie, can you mix this with this? Which is, that's probably something they could add to Dead by Daylight is like a preview feature where you could mix and match pieces of a cosmetic to see what it looks like together without having bought it first.
That's very cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So people ask me, can you show me what that head looks like with this outfit? And we'll review new cosmetics. Usually I'll just show the whole new cosmetic and read the breakdown of the pieces. And then we'll mix and match it with different looks from that character to show what it looks like. Right.
That's good.
So,
I like that.
I do it for a content aspect and to be helpful for those people who are on the fence about wondering, do they need this cosmetic or not?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Right. So, and at the end of the day, does it help the company? Sure. But that isn't like my goal. I'm like, I gotta sell 100,000 cosmetics for Dead by Daylight this year, or I'm kicked out of the Fog Whisperer program, Like that's not things that
so you don't have KPIs. Right, gotcha.
So.
No, you're very quick on your videos though, especially with news. You and King are the two I go to for your news.
Oh yeah, King's been crushing it lately.
Yeah.
So
I go to you for
I've kind of taken a step back in January. There's a little more time for me.
Fair enough.
So
I like your tinfoil talks. I'll always love them. I think that's my favorite. So please, get another one of them out there, man.
Yeah, I mean it is a very popular series.
Yeah.
I always see the biggest spikes in subs probably when new content comes out, new theory videos come out. So I don't know. Like, has Fog Whisperer helped me as a creator? Certainly, but at the end, would I still be in the same spot I'm in if I wasn't Fog Whisperer? Arguable, debatable, but I think it'd be close because, I said, I would always see those spikes in subs when new content was coming out, and I don't think that's necessarily Fog Whisperer driven.
My community watch you because of the research you put into those videos. You're like, because the tinfoil hat, you're like, oh, we can then look into this and then look into that. That's got nothing to do with the Fog Whisperer. That was always your sort of formula of how to get to the answer. Do you know what I mean? Or the would-be answer. But I think that was always going to be pretty much the same, Fog Whisperer or not.
Yeah, and they're fun videos to make. Sometimes they take a lot of work, and I don't always have the time to put into them. But they're definitely fun to make. But it, mostly. So my vision of being a Fog Whisperer is supposed to be a bridge between the devs and the community.
Yeah.
So if there are questions that people are unsure of, then I know the answer. Then I would love to be able to provide it to people, right?
Yep.
To be a helper. At the end of the day is to help guide people through the community when they have questions about what's going on.
Yep.
So that's what I see as my role. That's why I'm always like, hey, I want to make sure you don't miss out on this blood point code. Here it is. Make sure you get your blood points. Like those are the things I always want everybody to see because, it's free blood points. Everybody needs blood points. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everyone's got someone else to prestige, man.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit. How is Matthew Cote? Sort of. I know. Obviously, recently he was on a podcast with you and King, and that was awesome. By the way, it was cool. I know you've had dinner with Matthew Cote as well. What's he like? I've talked to King about this, by the way, on my last podcast, so you guys can check that out if you like. But how is he? Just when you're just sitting at a table, eating food, hanging out, having a drink.
I mean, he exudes cool. What do you want me to say? I don't know. He's just like pure love, a wonderful man. I don't have anything bad to say about the guy,
Yeah,
honestly. I've enjoyed every minute that I have spent with him. I just think he's a great fit for the role that he's in with the company. I think he has, charm and exuberance, and he's a good face for the game as the what is his title? The I
game
forget. I got
director.
his
Game director.
yeah, but it's something else. There's also like a preacher aspect of it. I can't remember.
Right.
Uh, it escapes me now. I don't know, but yeah, he's a really good fit for the role that he's in, and he's just a fun, funny person to be around, like
That's cool.
genial. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, the one thing I'll definitely say that comes up a lot in my, it's funny how times change, but in my Discord and other places in the comments, there's actually a lot of, oh man, when are we going to see Matthew Cote again? People are honestly missing him right now. It would be really cool to see him on like a Q&A or something like that. I know how busy he is.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, he's tracking down partnerships, presumably. I don't know, like
yeah,
hopefully working on some more licenses and things. But yeah, if you want to, since you brought up the dev stream thing, I'll just touch on this.
yep,
Um, I see there's been a lot of vilifying of people who have appeared on streams
yep,
recently. I'll say Patrick most
yep,
recently, and prior to that would be Ethan Almo, right?
yeah,
So I'll just say, like, so we all know that McLean left
yeah,
the team. He's moved on to another gaming
yep,
company, and Dead by Daylight has kind of pulled back on their streams, right? We used to
yeah,
have these
yeah, oh
devs
yeah.
every single week. It was
I
like
used to love him.
yeah, every Thursday, right?
Yep,
And some weeks they didn't really have much to talk
yeah,
about. Because I used to make the weekly recaps, right? And I
yep,
used to boil down a 1 hour stream into, 10 to 15 minutes. These are the things that you need to know that were said on the stream. These are the important bits, right?
bullet
And people
points.
used to love those.
Yep.
And there were some weeks where it was hard for me to even make a video about it because there wasn't really anything said. Now, you could say that this one that we had last week, there wasn't a whole lot said either, which, yeah, they used to do that some weeks. But when we haven't had a Q&A in a couple of months, I'd like for there to be some more substance, right?
Yep.
Something
I
that
agree.
they
I agree.
can deliver to us.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of those streams. But when people react the way they do to people who are on the streams or the streams in general, it doesn't really encourage the company to trot out another one, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, oh, look, the turtle came out. And then you smack the turtle with a stick and you're like, why did it go back in its shell
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. I feel
You
you.
know?
Yep.
So I honestly thought Patrick did fairly well in this video compared to the stream, compared to ones in the past. I've only seen
We
him
talked
on
about
maybe
this.
3 or 4. Like the first one I remember seeing him on was when they had the green stick man
That's correct. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the orange or red stick man, and they were
Yeah.
showing like
Yeah.
how you have hit validation
Yeah.
problems, right?
Yeah.
Arnold and Bardock were their names or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
That was like the first one I remember seeing him on. But so with McLean, I've actually talked to McLean about this on his stream and things, and um, not everybody wants to be in front of a camera, right? Like if
100%.
you're working at a dev, as a dev on a game, you would just want to work on your game. That's your skill set, right? Not
That's.
everybody is familiar being in front of a camera.
Yep.
Not everybody wants to be in front of a camera, especially if you're going to have to deal with the vitriol from the community when you give answers that aren't particularly popular. Would you want to do it?
No, I 100% agree with you. It's not in there. They didn't go to university to be on camera. I can agree to
Right?
that.
So I think we have to give them a little bit of room on this kind of stuff. Like I'm sure there's a lot of things they want to tell us,
Yep.
but they can't always. And given the choice of, hey, MrGimms, you can keep on coding the game, or you can come get in front of the camera and you can watch the community rip you apart afterwards. What do you want to do?
I'm good. I'm good here, thanks.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then I see people saying Patrick should never be on one of these again. And it's like, well, we don't know why Ethan Elmo isn't in front of the camera anymore, right? But he faced that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's fair to say he faced that.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah.
So maybe the company doesn't want him on it. Maybe he doesn't want to be on it. Who knows? Now they're coming after Patrick. So, yep. And I've seen him do it to Not Queen too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
now,
and Matthew Cote
goes,
and Matthew Cote originally.
And then if Patrick goes, then we get somebody else. Well, who's to say they aren't going to be vilified in the same way, right? So I think like what our takeaways should be is, hey, we're getting communication. It may not be the level of communication that we want, but I don't want to lose the communication. I want more communication. I want more of this to come. So I think that we have to nurture it as a community and not come at these people with, the kind of vitriol that I see on Twitter and things, because that is going to make them go back in their shell, right?
Yep.
So
I think what you're talking about here a little bit is sort of a mob mentality that the audience has, that the fans are, because obviously one guy will say like, "Oh, screw this guy, he didn't answer my question," and then 10 other guys in the chat will be like, "Yeah, screw this guy, he's not giving us what I want," and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just a mob. And they're just
right.
And you are right. They are definitely looking for a new villain every single time they're going through them. Elmo stops coming. Not Queen stops coming. And I actually enjoyed Not Queen. Back in the day, I haven't seen her in ages. And yeah, you're right.
The community can be a lot, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody is equipped to deal with it, right? So I think in the end of the day, we have to remember these are human beings who are working on a game and they have feelings, and we shouldn't discount that.
Yep.
We can all be a little more understanding of the position.
I'm guilty of this too. Because obviously emotions...
Me too. Like when I live streamed it, I was like, psst, okay, Peanuts, cut him off. Like my eyes are glazing over, right?
Yeah.
And that's not nice for me to say either, right? So we can all improve in that regard. But it's like you gotta, you gotta give respect to get respect, kind of thing, where we have to be patient and listen, and we can be critical, but it has to be productive, not insulting.
Yep.
And give them the feedback that is going to encourage them to want to do it more.
You gave me that advice maybe a year ago. You were like, yeah, it's just, you didn't tell me what to do, but you were just, but you were just like, sometimes you just got to be, you can be critical, that's fine, but just find a way of doing it and putting it out in a clear, concise message that's not always barking down someone's throat. And I will admit, that last video I did on the Q&A, it pissed me off. It's pretty clear. And that's when I just started joining the mob again for that. I didn't say horrible things about him like I saw on Twitter, though. But it does. It snowballs. It snowballs. And it can bring out some of the worst in all of us.
So, I'll be right there with you with, the question selection choice. It's like, well, why are we even picking this question if you don't have anything to say about it? Certainly there must be some questions here that you can go, oh, hey, we can talk about this one. This would be a great opportunity to talk about this. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I don't want to see a lot of stuff about, here's this question, we can't say anything about it. Here's this question, we can't say anything about it. I need some substance. And even if somebody doesn't ask a question that you can deliver on with substance, find something that you can get the community excited about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I agree.
To me, that's their responsibility for this.
I mean, some of the questions, though, is our fault, and then it's the community's fault for upvoting them. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit more in the know, I guess, than obviously casual fans. I mean, I think you'll agree with this, but the cross progression thing, that for anyone who knows anything that's involved with those sorts of deals, that question we know the answer. Like if they had something for us on that, they wouldn't be dropping it in a Q&A. They'd be dropping it in a notice on Twitter or something like that and share it on social media. It would be that big that we'd all know. So some
Yeah,
questions I think could have been definitely they ask them the same questions and they get the same
yeah.
answers and then they feel, oh well, they're ignoring me, so that's that now.
That's a repeated question. And
Yeah,
but there's also misconceptions that go along with that.
yeah,
I've literally seen people attack the devs on their tweets, say, "So you lied about PlayStation cross progression." I'm like, they never promised you cross progression on Xbox or PlayStation. The Switch people have an axe to grind
yeah. That's
because
fine. Yeah,
that
yeah,
was on the roadmap.
yeah,
That was promised.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
those people have an axe to grind about it because they told them they were getting it.
yeah,
But nobody ever promised cross progress for Xbox or PlayStation. Sure, we're all hopeful
yeah. Of course,
that
yeah.
it happens, but it was never promised.
Mm.
And I see people saying, "Well, devs lied again." Like,
It's not a lie. It's just they have nothing left. They have nothing else to report at this current endeavor. Like I do actually believe we're going to get cross progression. I don't know
I
when we're
sure
going to get
hope
it.
so. I think it's
Yeah,
good, but
yeah,
it's like it's all financial, right?
yeah. Exactly.
It's getting Nintendo
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Microsoft and
Sony.
PlayStation to all
Yeah,
agree that, when you move to one
yeah,
platform from another, we're just going to unlock all these cosmetics for you that you paid for the other people. Well,
yeah.
but first I thought, well, at least give the free characters on cross progress because those aren't DLC, so it would be something.
Yeah.
But then I didn't think of people having bought cosmetics for those free characters, so you
Mm,
can't even really do that.
yeah.
And I understand that uh, from what Justin said this last time, that the standard is that they want to deliver the same level of cross progress that the other platforms enjoy
Yeah.
and nothing less.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't want to do a minimum
Yeah.
cross progress. That's what it felt like anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to another content creator last night or the night before, I think it was, and it's easy to get when you go to the movies and have your three pals with you. It's easy to get them to agree to a movie to watch, but these are multi-million, billion-dollar companies. It's not. There's so many moving parts that I think people just want crossplay. That's how easy it is. It's not. It's not that easy. It's the same reason why we don't have PTVs for everybody. It's the same sort of things that are the hiccups. And I just wish people would do a little bit of exploration into those things as well. Educate yourself rather than pushing forward on the devs and saying, you lied to us. This is not happening. Yada, yada, yada. All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I am
do.
encouraged by that beta tab, though, because I do think it's
Hell yeah. Yeah.
important to have the decision making of the game going forward not just be in the hands of the PC players,
Yep.
right? So instead of just like, oh, hey, we're changing Wiggle
Yep.
and test it out, PC, let us know what you think, and thumbs up, everybody gets it. I
Oh, yeah.
love this idea of the beta tab that the console people are going to be able to opt into it, test it for the 10 games, get rewarded
Get some
200,000 blood points for doing it,
Yep.
and then make their own decision. And by all means, everybody should be, again, constructively providing feedback on what they think about this so that they can help shape the game going forward for everybody. Maybe that wiggle change should just be optional. I don't know how easy that would be to have that as an optional setting in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Not sure, but I kind of like it.
I love the new wiggle. I love the new wiggle.
Yeah.
I won't go and use the old one. I think you're right. I think it'd be cool if it was an option. I think it would be great if it was an option.
Yeah.
But I'm sick and tired of bashing my
There were some people who said it
keyboard.
was too intense, that they
Yeah.
didn't like it. That
Right.
they thought, no, I don't want
Mm.
that. It makes me anxious.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. But yeah, I just think we as a community can be better, especially with our feedback to the devs as well, making it a little bit more constructive. But maybe also on their side, just tightening things up during the Q&A as well, as you said. Some things were just droning on. I think that was just aggravating other people. But
Yeah, I glazed over a couple times.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
yeah. But yeah, we all could be better. And you are right. You are right. They're not trained to be in front of a camera. These people, they're not.
Right. So I would to that argument, I would say McLean's a very unique individual in that aspect. Like to me, he has a lot of charm and charisma, and he was always very spot on with his answers,
Very clean cut. Very clean
delivery.
cut. Yeah, delivery was good.
Right. So that was a unique. He had a unique skill set that he was able to be a dev coding the game and
Yeah.
also do that. But I think it's an unrealistic expectation to have your game designers be able to bring that skill set too. You know what I mean? And if you find somebody else that's in a different part of the company who has that skill set but isn't technically knowledgeable, then people are just going to undermine that too, right? They're going to be like, "Oh, this person is in marketing. They don't know anything about the game, blah blah blah." You know what I mean? There's always going to be complaints no matter what, right?
Yeah, I think Matthew Cote was good too, and Knock Queen was good too. I think they were
Yeah,
really
and Matthew
good.
Cote would be the first to admit. He admitted to us on the podcast that we did with King that he didn't have a lot of technical knowledge to answer questions, right? So his delivery might be good and he's comfortable in front of a camera, but he doesn't have his head wrapped around the technical aspects of some stuff.
Yeah.
Which is where McLean had that unique skill set, right?
Yeah.
Even Horvath, I don't know if Horvath kind of got the hate that
no, I don't think
some
it
of
was.
these other devs did. I think a lot of people had man crushes on Horvath. The only thing I ever remember anybody saying about Horvath is they couldn't stand how much he would spin his pen all the time. They're like, man, this guy is constantly spinning the pen. So what we should do is we should teach Patrick how to spin pens, and then everything will be fine.
Fidget spinners and all sorts of things.
Right.
Yeah, yo-yos. Yeah, maybe. Right. Well, that was a good conversation about that. I think I've definitely taken something out of that. Just considering people's feelings that aren't supposed to be on the camera. I think that's a pretty good one. This one's interesting. I haven't talked to you about this at all. Do you look at the competition at all? And when I say competition, I'll explain what that means. Interested in any of it? VHS, Evil Dead, Cannibal game coming out soon as well. Well, the trailer was out soon. When I say competition, I mean that they're in the same sort of genre. I don't mean that they're here to destroy Dead by Daylight. See, a lot of people get that mixed up when I say competition. They think instantly I mean, they're there to beat Dead by Daylight. No, we have football teams. We have different football organizations, multiple basketball. You know what I mean? It's okay to have two things existing in the same thing. But have you looked at any of it? Are you interested?
I've seen the trailer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen the trailer for Evil Dead. I've seen the trailer for VHS. I applied for a beta key for VHS. I never got one. Still haven't gotten one. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe the internet can tell me what I'm allowed to play and what I'm not allowed to play as far as Evil Dead goes. Because those are the makers of NFTs. I don't know if anybody knows that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre also has NFTs.
They are.
Don't know if anybody knows that.
I forgot.
Did you go see Scream? They have NFTs. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to do anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe the internet will tell me that.
Maybe
later on. But
you keep your finger on the pulse. You know what's going on.
Yeah, I'll say that I think competition is healthy.
Absolutely.
I would I wouldn't mind it if somebody spurred Dead by Daylight on to be better.
And vice versa.
Maintain King of the Hill, right?
Yep.
Because there's been many people who have come for Dead by Daylight's lunch money in the past. And they have not succeeded.
No.
Will somebody else succeed? I don't know, remains to be seen. But I do think the idea of having someone who is coming to get your lunch money and you got to make sure that they're not going to get it is a good thing. So that people aren't complacent. Now I'm not saying they are complacent.
No.
But you might get more energy or
keeps them on the edge a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. So I think competition's a good thing at the end of the day for sure.
Yeah, I think it's
But
good too.
I haven't watched anybody play VHS. I don't know anything about the game. I wanted to go into it raw with beta key, and I just simply haven't gotten one.
I wanted to do that
Um,
too.
as far as the Evil Dead thing, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I was really looking forward to that game.
Mm.
And then what they wound up being the, Boss Protocol is
Yeah, you're the one who
into
told me about all this. I just
the
forgot for a
Masters of
second.
Horror.
Yeah.
Masters of Horror NFTs is the same company that's making Evil Dead. I'm like, Now,
Can you
I
explain a
will
little bit of
say,
that? Can you explain a little bit of that for people who may not know?
okay, so there's two divisions of Boss Protocol. Boss Protocol, the gaming company.
Yep.
That's okay. And Boss Protocol, who mints these NFTs in partnership with the what is it? Park Avenue Entertainment is the
That's it.
first
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
called the Masters of Horror collection, right? Starting with Pinhead.
Yeah.
So, where to begin? Where do you want to start with this? So, it started out with Boss Protocol themselves announcing that they were going to have these Hellraiser NFTs, and that if you bought one, which they were selling for at the time, this was just a proposed price, they hadn't gone on sale, that they were going to sell them for like I think $200 a piece, and if you
Yeah.
bought one, you were going to get a copy of the Hellraiser DLC along with it. Which,
Yep.
like, well, that's a losing buy.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't just buy the Hellraiser DLC?
Was it
Why am I going
£5
to
or
buy
whatever?
a $200 NFT? So, and then it turned out that they had. This is all just apparent, right? Nobody's told me any of this. Again, I don't speak for behavior about the whole situation. I don't really know anything about it. I know just as much as anybody else. No inside information. That they had the in-game model for Pinhead that they were going to use to make the NFTs. And if you've seen any of these NFTs, like they're just computer generated by the monkey yacht board, monkey yacht club, whatever ape thing, that they're just variations on the same thing. And they look like they were going to do the same thing with the T-pose model of the Hellraiser of Pinhead from the Hellraiser chapter from Behavior. And so then they just kind of got laughed off of the internet because people thought they would look so stupid. Pinhead with a mohawk and sunglasses and a knife in his head and all these dumb things. I'm like, I don't know what Pinhead fan wants that.
Neither do I.
So since then, there was obviously a lot of backlash about Dead by Daylight's involvement with NFTs, which we have no idea how that whole licensing agreement came about. It could very well be that Park Avenue Entertainment says, well, we want use of the model. And Dead by Daylight says, then they said for promotion or something, right? And then, okay. And so then they gave it to them, not knowing it was going to get turned into NFTs. I don't know exactly who knew it was going to get turned
dodgy,
into NFTs.
whatever it was.
A lot of the employees had claimed no knowledge that it was going to get turned into NFTs. And then when people saw the actual NFTs, they ridiculed it, and they wound up hiring an artist named Miles Tevis out of Hollywood, an industry prosthetic maker for Hollywood and a storyboard artist. And he drew a picture of Pinhead, and that's the new NFT, what Miles Tevis out of Hollywood created. They got rid of the Behavior Pinhead model. Behavior's name is nowhere on the website where it's being offered. It's all just written up Park Avenue Entertainment and their other partners. Park Avenue Entertainment, by the way, is the license holder for the Hellraiser film franchise. And they're the ones that are making it. So it doesn't really have anything to do with Behavior. They've even scrubbed the part off of the website. They were using their trailer for Hellraiser chapter at one point. That's gone.
Wow.
The promise of getting a DLC for free if you buy one of these NFTs, that's gone.
Right, okay.
So I don't know if Behavior said, we don't want any part of this. So they're nowhere to be seen on this. No DLC, no trailer, no mention in the partnership on the NFT thing. But people still say, well, I hate Behavior for NFTs. But again, part of me wonders, are you holding all your companies to the same standard. Because did you go see the Scream movie? Well, did you know that Scream has NFTs?
Yeah. I did
So
not. I did not.
yeah, they have Sneaky Vampire Syndicate. They sold their NFTs for $2,000 a piece by the same artist that made the Bored Ape Yacht Monkey Club, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre has NFTs. Saw has NFTs. Are you going to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix?
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
Twitter now has, look at my NFT in my profile. So this is what I always told people.
Yeah.
Is that this is the way of the world, because all the companies see this as easy money. Funko has NFTs, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't buy them.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels has NFTs.
Yeah.
They call it Digital Garage or something. So,
okay.
yeah, personally, I believe you can support a company without like directly thinking that you're supporting NFTs. Just don't buy the NFTs.
Yeah,
right?
Just buy what
like
you want to get.
Coca-Cola has NFTs, but I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't ever drink a Coca-Cola again.
Nah, screw that.
So,
yeah,
that's my personal opinion. And, I think that the consumers make the market, right? Yeah. With anything, consumers make the market. So if you don't buy it, there's no market. But a lot of people this is trendy, digital, and it's easy money. Like, so with the Funkos, for example, Funkos makes NFTs. You buy them in a digital pack of trading cards, just like we used to buy, trading cards as kids. And you open them up, and there's like a 0.5% chance that you'll get a card in there that you can redeem for a physical pop. Right. So it's kind of like gambling, right?
Yeah.
So they spell the odds out for you, so the chances. So they sell enough cards where they get $500,000, and then they only have to make like 8,000 pops or something like that.
Jesus.
From the redeemables, and everything else is just digital pictures. So it's nearly pure profit. So you can see why companies are enamored with this, because the margins are huge.
Yeah.
They only have to make 8,000 pops, which costs them maybe at best $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get $500,000 for that.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, I want to hit the lottery and pull that card that I can get that pop for, because I'm going to be able to sell that pop for $300 or $400 because it's so rare. It's only 1,000 made. So it winds up being like this gambling aspect. Now, but Funko is unique in that because they offer a product with it.
Like an actual, yeah.
A physical thing you can hold in your hand.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels doesn't do that.
Nah.
No, none of the NFTs really do that either. So it's just mostly just pictures that you own.
I got the vibe early on when that NFT stuff with DVD was being released that they didn't want any part of it. It was so quickly just blown over. They pushed them off. It seemed like it almost seemed like it was put on them very, very quickly, in my opinion.
It does seem like they did tweet about it. So it does seem like
I remember that.
Contractually obligated to make a tweet about it. But I don't know. We'll probably never know.
No.
Because they're very good about keeping the privacy of their licensed partners, which is good business.
That's business.
You would have to do that if you wanted to get other partners in the future.
Yeah.
Even with the Netflix deal, they've never openly said why the license wasn't renewed, but they know why, right? They know. But they're not going to throw Netflix under the bus because it would look bad on them as a company.
Of course, yeah. It's none of their business anyway, really, to be honest. That's my stance on it. Like, that's the inner workings of the company. I'm interested in what's in front of me, not sort of what's going. So that's another thing. People want to be spoiled now. People don't want to wait for things. Like, that's another thing that just bugs me with Dead by Daylight. Is definitely got to be one of the worst companies for it. When are they going to bring FNAF in? They should be bringing this in now. And it's just like, dude, do you want to even know? I want to be surprised. That's why I used to, like, don't get me wrong. As a content creator, DVD leaks is great. Thank you so much. You helped me as a content creator. But at the same time, I remember when I was playing as a fan before I was a content creator, and I was like, oh, yes. Yeah, that's awesome. Look who's coming to DVD. This is great. Like, because the trailer that would drop on YouTube was the trailer that I'd watch And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe Demogorgon's in the game now, or something like that. Like, that's all gone now, and that's very disappointing for me.
Yeah, I've kind of reeled it back in on the leak stuff too. Not because anybody told me to, just
Yeah.
because it felt different, right? Like
Yeah.
I was always like, okay, stuff that's in the files is fair game.
Oh, yeah, of course.
With
Yeah. Yeah.
the data mining stuff, is like that's fair game. You
Yeah.
put it in the files, it's there to be fished out.
Yeah.
But then when it got to the point where now we don't really know how this happened, but you saw like a rogue account come on Twitter
Yeah.
that revealed the artist chapter
Yeah. Yeah.
characters
Yeah.
ahead of time, right? And there's some mystery surrounding how they got those images.
Yeah.
I don't really know the whole
No.
story.
No, I don't know anything about that.
It's all just kind of guesswork whether um somebody broke their NDA or if something got hacked, but
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't stuff that was fished out of the files,
No.
right?
It was
It wasn't
images.
data
It looked
mined
like it
stuff.
was like a phone on a computer screen. That's what it looked
Yeah,
like
so
to me.
it was a next level breach,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So I was like, I don't really feel comfortable
Yeah.
with this anymore, because it's one thing if like uh well, this might be a crude example, but it's one thing if you leak your own nudes like Chris Evans on Twitter, right? You put that out there
Yeah.
yourself, but
Yeah.
it's another thing if somebody hacks your phone and takes your
And
nudes
takes
and
your
shows
stuff.
them to
Yeah.
the world. You know what I mean? So it's like the Pamela Anderson tape stolen out of the
Yeah.
safe,
Yeah.
it's like
That's someone going into a home and physically
right.
doing that.
That's an invasion of
Yeah.
privacy matter. It's
100%.
another level.
Yeah. But if you're going to go to Blockbuster and sell it there, then show
Right.
it on the TV there, then that's your problem.
So it just felt different. So I was like,
it felt
I don't
wrong.
like
It
this.
definitely felt wrong. 100%.
And I personally also believe, and I don't have any proof of this, this is just my own personal suspicion, that I think that's why we got the Ringu information so far in advance, because the company may have been worried what else is
have they
out
got?
there that somebody can drop and leak on us before we do. So I think
man.
that, especially right before they went on Christmas break, they did that. It was right
Yeah.
before they took 2 or 3 weeks off for Christmas break, holiday break, right?
True.
So they may have said, we need to make sure that we're the ones in control of our own announcements, especially with a license.
That's a bit sad. It's a bit sad
sad.
that there's an attack on the inside
right?
of their fort. That's a bit shit, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They've got enough to worry about. They don't need to worry about their 4 walls.
I firmly believe that that's why we got the Ringo announcement so far in advance, because they don't want to lose face with the licensor and have somebody else leak out their license instead of their own internal announcements, right?
Yeah.
So
no, you're right.
I think that's probably why the timing of that was like they did it with Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
But that was because of the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. And
celebration.
Matthew Cote
So that one made sense. Like it was organized to be revealed that way. But this one was kind of strange that it came out so far in advance. Like not coming out till March.
Yeah.
So, but I'm in full favor of that. I would love it if they did that every time. Like, go ahead, tell us 3 months in advance what we're getting.
Yeah,
I would love it.
It's still new
Why
news
not?
when they drop it because it's new news. Like we're the ones that get to see that live as they drop it, so they're in control again.
The only reason you wouldn't want to do that is if you were fearful that it wouldn't be ready in time, and you would have to switch gears. Because I remember like Ethan Elmo saying that the Death Slinger came about because they had a gap in the release. So they had to change the chapter and move him up.
Yeah.
Now, what that was, I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, the only reason you wouldn't want to provide that information early is if you were afraid you wouldn't be able to make the deadline.
Yeah. Any 6th year predictions?
Well, I mean, I've said it many times on my stream. If you've got Ringu coming for March, don't you have to have something bigger than Ringu coming for June?
Yeah.
for the 6th anniversary, like year after year, we've seen these huge releases on the anniversary date. I don't think it's going to be like, hey, everybody, happy 6th anniversary. You want to see your new Pariah Survivor? You know, like,
Yeah.
oh,
I think it's going to be massive.
It's got to be a license, right? I don't think they're going to trot out an original for the anniversary. Never say never, but
yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you have held Ringu for the anniversary if you didn't have something bigger than Ringu for the anniversary?
It's true. However, I have had a thought that maybe they're bringing something so big and original that it is really good, like another game mode or something massive that would make headlines sort of thing. It's going to have to be really big to compete with that, because every year it's just going up and up and up and up with excitement. So, and they did tease a second game mode. They did tease it. They did tease it in the stream, in the last dev stream.
They said Patrick said we're currently no plans or something like that. What did he say?
He said something like, how did he word it? To me, it came across as like, if we were working on something that would be a new game mode, then that game mode would blah 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 blah. I can't remember what he said after that. To me, it sounded like they have something maybe in their back pocket, maybe not in the near future, but maybe.
It's another cryptic answer. What was with the cryptic answer about the non-answer on borrowed time, right? Like, why do that to yourself?
I don't know. So, everyone's just freaking out over that now.
Why do that to yourself? Either answer the question appropriately with "we're thinking about BT," or don't select that question.
Or maybe he did answer it properly.
I mean, it was asked to him multiple times, MrGimms. Like, you're like, but wait a minute, you didn't say anything about borrowed time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Peanut said that. Yeah,
repeated the same canned answer.
Yeah.
So that was like on script in my mind. That was the answer he knew he was going to give. So I don't understand why.
Oh God,
it was delivered that way, but. I don't know. Maybe new game mode. I don't know. It's always been a no new game mode.
I agree with you though. I'm 95% sure it's got to be a big license.
Well, what did Matthew say when they asked him, what's your vision in 3 words for 2022? And he said even more bigger or something like that.
Yeah, it's Matthew Cote will have something right up his sleeve, ready to go. Friday the 13th. That could be pretty cool.
I mean, it ain't going to be Candyman. People have said to me, well, you're probably going to finally get Candyman. That'll be bigger than the Ring. I don't agree that Candyman's bigger than Ringu. I think Candyman is North American only. The franchise was never released. The third movie was straight to video. So first 2 movies were only ever released in North America. People in Europe, Asia don't know who Candyman is. Maybe they do now.
They do now, yeah.
But, I think it's a gamble. I don't think it's a proven product the way Ringu the Ring is worldwide.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, audience-wise, I see what you mean. I love Candyman, though, the original film.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would love it. I'll be clicking my heels.
I know what you're like. Yeah, with Candyman.
But it wouldn't be my choice. I would reverse them. I would put Candyman out first and then the Ring for the anniversary, personally.
Yeah. Candyman could be down the road. Could be a down the road thing.
Yeah, maybe one day. I don't know. But I think it's more likely if we're talking about bigger licenses. Obviously, Jason is the biggest player on the board.
Yeah.
But who knows? Swirling with Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham. If that's ever going to be resolved, if these guys are finally going to decide they want to make money and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get a grip, guys.
What?
They're annoying me now.
Chucky, I would say Chucky would be bigger.
Yeah. FNAF. FNAF would be massive.
FNAF would be
huge. My God.
I was a little curious to see because, not to inject politics in this too much, but a lot of hate for Scott Cawthon recently. I was wondering how Security Breach would sell, how it would be received, and if they did have a FNAF chapter in the pipe with Scott Cawthon when all of that came out.
A lot of it's bullshit, though.
Crap.
A lot of it was.
I do believe that people should have the ability to vote for whoever they want
and support whoever they like,
and
within reason.
Consumers, right. Consumers have the ability to speak with their wallet and support products
Of
based
course.
on those things too, right?
Yep.
So it's all about freedom. And in general, I just always believe that um, people vote their pocketbook at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
So most of the time, folks are going to vote for who they think is going to
Going to
help their family going
increase, yeah,
forward
make them,
as far as their income.
yeah.
So, I'm not surprised when people vote the way they do. And
But you are right. There might be somewhat of a wall there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
I don't
yeah,
know. Did you really see any of that with security breach, or is it okay now that Scott Cawthon stepped down? Did you see people um opinionated about security breach based
yeah,
on that?
yeah. On
Have
streams and
you?
in comments, I saw a couple of things.
Yeah,
Not so much, but there were definitely people questioning things and things like that. The game was phenomenal, though. Jesus, the game was
I thought it
phenomenal.
was really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean, it
really
wasn't
good.
without problems. It
Oh
had
God, no,
bugs and
no.
lag, and
Yeah,
but I thought it was very entertaining, and
yeah,
I was immersed. My
yeah,
son and I got right back in that old mode, watching
yeah,
Markiplier and
yeah, yeah.
Jacksepticeye
Same with me.
play
Same
it.
with me.
You too. We watched you
Yeah.
play it too.
Oh, nice, cool. I freaked out.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. It was a new direction. Hopefully, more comes out of that. But yeah, you're right. There might be
Yeah,
somewhat.
FNAF would be huge. And FNAF is a weird one for me because um it has people are very opinionated on about it. Even with the Scott Cawthon stuff aside,
Yeah,
without bringing Scott Cawthon's politics into it. Even
yeah,
before that came to light,
yes. It
so
has a
many people
stigma
were
on it.
very passionate about their opinions, the polarizing opinions of FNAF. Some people thought that's a kid's game, it doesn't belong in my horror game,
Yeah,
and et cetera, et cetera. And I wound up having to like turn FNAF off as a word that people could say in my chat because people would just fight about it all the time. And I'm like, I can't deal with the fighting.
my God, yeah,
And I don't really understand it because they're afraid. I see what they're saying is that they're afraid that it will bring so many kids to the game and it'll turn into the FNAF game and it's not going to be fun
it
anymore.
won't.
People said the same thing about Stranger Things,
Yeah,
that they told me this is going to become Stranger Things by daylight. By
yeah,
daylight, everybody's going to be playing Stranger Things. You're not going to see anything but Stranger Things all day long. It didn't happen.
yep,
So, and the argument about, well, you're going to get so many minors in my mature game. Maybe you'll get an influx of that. But FNAF has been around for so many years
yeah,
that the people who were minors when they started playing FNAF 1 are adults now.
yep.
And they have an affinity for that franchise, and they would absolutely love to
To go
see it come to
back
Dead
and
by Daylight.
be characters from that franchise. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that a lot in my streams when I play FNAF games. It's like, oh man, if I got to play this character again, this would be awesome. This would be epic. Yeah, it's beloved. I got into FNAF 2 years ago. So I used to watch Markiplier and everything like that, but I never really got into the games ever. I just enjoyed watching their reactions.
I think I have a couple in my library, but I never really played them myself. It was more fun watching the
Yeah, it's
Let's
more
Play.
fun the reactions and things like that and
Yeah,
watching other people.
yeah.
But yeah, in the last 2 years, I've played them all now. Love it. It's great.
But
Great.
I wouldn't, I would never, I would never crap on Springtrap coming to Dead by
Yeah.
Daylight, right? 'Cause I think he has a place in
Oh
the
God,
game
yeah.
if they
Yeah.
were to bring him in.
Yeah.
And I know it would make a lot of people happy. And at the end of the day, what I want is for our community to be happy, right? And if
Exactly.
a release makes people happy, that's good. Like,
Yeah.
not everything has to be for me. Not every release has to be tailored for me. I'm going to be completely honest with you, MrGimms. I never played Resident Evil. I never played Silent Hill, but I appreciate both those franchises and the amount of people that had beloved feelings for
Yep.
those franchises and we're so happy to see it come to the game. If they're happy, I'm happy, right?
Yep.
So that's it.
You may have heard me say this before. I think we've had a conversation like this before, but when Pyramid Head on the year 4 was revealed, I knew who Pyramid Head was, but I'd never played a Silent Hill game. And when my
Right.
chat was going off, there was like there's like 1,500 people in there going absolutely batshit crazy for it. I was like, yeah, all right, let's rock and roll. People are hyped. Like, I was excited.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we should all want at the end of the day. Not everything has to be about us.
No.
If the majority of the fans of the game are excited, we should be excited for them. We, you know, we shouldn't ever like crap on things that make other people happy.
Exactly.
As long as it isn't hurting anybody, right?
Yeah.
Allow people to be happy with what they're happy with.
Yep.
But same as you, I didn't see the Silent Hill movie.
Nope.
I saw guys walking around with triangles on their head at conventions and shirtless and you know, carrying an immense sword that looked unreasonably wieldy.
That's a knife.
And I was like, oh, what is that? And then somebody said, oh, that's Pyramid Head. And I'm like, okay. And that was basically my knowledge base. But I could recognize Pyramid Head at a comic book convention. But I didn't know anything about the character of the franchise.
Yeah. I've only ever played Resident Evil 1, so I didn't know who Nemesis was. But people were hyped, and I was like, hell yeah, this is going to be a new killer. He looks cool. Let's rock and roll.
I think they're both good choices.
Yeah. Oh, of course they are. They're awesome choices. So, yeah.
And now we see another, you know, those were obviously gleaned from video game franchises. I mean, Resident Evil and Silent Hill have had movies, but our chapters don't have anything to do with cinema.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing them go into literary works, right? The book. They've said that Ringu is going to have a lot of basis from the book, which I have upstairs. I'm hoping to get that read by the end of February, actually.
Nice.
So, I think, like...
Again, for me, I don't know anything about Ring. I've seen the first original American film, and then that's it. That's all I've done.
And they said this is going to be
the Japanese
based
book.
on Japanese, right? Yeah. Japanese book and film.
Oh, is it film as well?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see. I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do with the killer, what the power is going to be.
That's all I care about. When a new killer comes in, is how's it work? I'm just into that zone. Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. And perks, obviously. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to any new content. Just because there's problems elsewhere, that doesn't mean we can't look forward to new content. It keeps the game fresh, in my opinion. Gonna change gears a little bit here. Let's talk. And I think a lot of people who maybe haven't seen you are going to see this just in the camera alone. Let's talk about Paulie's Pops. Let's talk about your Pops collection. Let's talk about this hobby. I have some questions revolving around this too, because I'm looking to maybe get into the market of Pops. And I do go to my local toy shop. Yes, that's right. I go into toy shops, everyone. And I don't know where to start. So tell me how this started. How long have you been doing it for? And what's it do for you?
Okay, so I've been collecting since 2018.
Okay.
The Funko Pop series see behind me, plus a bunch more.
Yeah.
Each one of these bookcases here behind me holds 150 pops.
Nice.
I currently have 10 of those.
Okay.
And then I need to buy some more shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of them. So it all started where I used to think they were dumb, and my wife never lets me forget this. She's like, remember when you said these were stupid?
I've said that.
And I'm like, yeah, but when I was looking at them at first, was early on when they came out. I think they started like 2011 or something like that. When I first started making these.
That's when. Yep.
And I would show them to my wife, and I'm like, you can't tell one character from another. Like, they all look the same. Like, if you took them out of the box, would you know who this is? Now, since then, the sculpting has improved.
Okay.
So that they have a little bit more uniqueness. At least they do for me.
Yep.
That when you compare them to the original figures, I feel like I can tell who they are out of the box more. But I started with, these are cool. Where I started with my Hanna-Barbera cartoons. I was a huge cartoon fan. Saturday morning cartoons were my jam. And I would see some of these Funko Pops like, oh, this one's Yogi Bear. Clearly Yogi Bear. You're going to see it out of the box, and you're going to know it's Yogi Bear. You're going to know it's Chilly Willy. You're going to know it's Garfield, all these different characters. So I started with that. And then I got more into the human versions, like Michael Scott from The Office, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
My collection expanded from there. But it started out with horror and Hanna-Barbera cartoons because those were very unique sculpts, recognizable who they were. You know, it's Freddy Krueger right
Yeah.
away
Hell
when you
yeah.
see
Yeah.
it. So I started out with cartoons and horror, and a friend of mine, he gave me my first two pops. He gave me Sackhead Jason from Friday the
Cool.
13th,
Yeah.
Walgreens
Yeah.
exclusive, and he gave me Sully from Monsters Inc. because he said I remind him of John Goodman. He's like, I want you to have this Sully exclusive and the Jason. That's where it started. And now my wife's like, his name's John. And my wife's like, I hate John. He's like, he got you started on this. But having said that, I've been a toy collector for decades, Mr. Gibbs.
Really?
I have
Okay.
a huge action figure and Hot Wheels collection. I have over 10,000 Hot Wheels in the house.
Right.
Like, I have been a toy collector, a wheeler dealer for quite some time. My background is I've always been like an obsessive, addictive personality, right?
Yep.
So when I go into something, I go into it all the way, and I think that's demonstrable with Dead by Daylight too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So when I was big into baseball card collecting, I would be a big trader, seller, dealer, things
Yep.
like that. Same thing with comic books. Anything I went into, I wound up trying to make the hobby pay for itself. I would buy comics, invest, sell them to dealers. My buddy and I, we used to
Jesus.
drive around my state, and we would go from shop to shop, and we'd go through their bins and find out books that they had undervalued, buy them, take them to the next shop down the road, and trade up. That was like what we did.
Wow. Okay. All right.
That was when I was in university as a young teenager. So I've had that like ingrained in me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to do the toy show circuit. I used to go once a month, set up my wares and sell, and I'd pick the whole room before the show opened. Same kind of mentality, go around, see who has what undervalued, buy
Mm-hmm.
it, and then resell it, whether it be on my own table or I know I can get X amount of dollars for this on eBay. So I've been into toys for a very long time. And Funko Pops is just kind of natural extension of that. So I basically peter off buying Hot Wheels, and Funko Pops are my passion now.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I mean, yeah. I've always looked at your backgrounds and stuff like that. Like right now, you've got horror icons up there. You can clearly see that. I love that. I started collecting Transformers because I'm a massive Transformers fan. So I've got G1 stuff going on back there, and that's just since I used to play with them. And I've kept some of them, and some of them are in good condition. I'm a massive NECA fan, so I've got every Aliens character you can probably mention. I have that. But I was thinking about getting into Paulie Pops. Sorry, not Paulie Pops. I'm going to go over there and start picking stuff off your shelf, dude. But I've decided...
It says it looks like a toy store down here.
Mate, because they're still mint in box. So I'm just like, how much can I get that for? But I've decided I'm going to start when Dead by Daylight finally releases theirs. I think that's a good a start as any. I'm just going to pick up the whole wave or whatever they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to do yet. I wish we did know what they were going to do. So I'm going to start there, and then I might go through horror and see what we have.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to do the same thing with Dead by Daylight Pops.
Oh, I'm probably going to order cases of them because I've had people say when they come out, I want you to autograph one and send it to me or whatever. So I imagine I'm probably going to buy a ton of them, whatever it is. So we can't wait. I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen a prototype at least at this point. It's been a long time since May.
That was
have
the
anything
5th year anniversary, wasn't it? Yeah,
right.
It was.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's flown. Wow. So you don't know.
Been
anything,
a while. I wish I did. I really wish I did. I thought we would have had something by now. I will say that Toy Fair is coming up within a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Now, Toy Fair itself's canceled. That's the annual convention that they have in New York City, where all the vendors show what they're bringing to market for the current calendar year. And there's usually a lot of reveals for that with prototypes and things. Fingers crossed that we're going to see Dead by Daylight revealed in that. Gosh, but if we don't see it then, and it'll definitely be a year
I
before they
wonder,
come
yeah,
out.
what's going on with that deal, man?
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah. I
guys.
don't get it. I don't get it. They got Squid Game made like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Jesus.
I
Okay,
mean, they're
yeah,
not out yet, but they got prototypes. They're like, hey, we're gonna sell Squid Game in the spring. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow, that's fast.
right.
Obviously, Squid Game's a much bigger market than Dead by Daylight, but hopefully Dead by Daylight will be no slouch at what, 50 million, 40 million
Mate, they're gonna
players have
no.
tried it.
I've got countless people that have said they're gonna buy them. Countless people. So
Yeah, so many people said never bought a Funko Pop, but I'm gonna buy those.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
hear like all the time.
yep.
So
Hmm. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. It's something that I think it's going to be a worthy investment. I just got to figure out where it's going to go, but we'll sort it out. um, right. Other content creators you're friends with and watch. Can you tell us about that at all? I mean, I know that King's always on your stream. I know you have the regulars on your stream, but well, yeah. Who are you friends with? Who do you like to talk to outside of streaming yourself and content creation?
King's my man, obviously. I watch a lot of you.
Yeah.
Um, I think as content creators, we never have the time that we want to
Nope.
watch other people. There's so many worthy people around the community that I admire, and I wish I had the time to tune in and watch them. Sadly, times at a premium. There's always, even if you aren't streaming or making videos, there's always something. You know how it is. The
Yeah. Yeah.
behind the scenes that we're working toward, and a lot of the times I just wind up seeing clips on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah.
There's so many people in our community that I admire and enjoy, and just wish I had more time to watch. Honestly,
Mm.
it's too many people to name.
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten into a few new ones recently. I'm one of those though. I'm a little bit of a stalker. Like, oh, that sounds weird. Lurker. That sounds just as bad in my opinion. So I try not to use that word. It's like I'm hanging outside their window or something. But yeah, I'm listening to other people as well. Yeah, like Earth to Lydia is somebody I've recently.
Yeah, yeah,
I've started watching, but I don't say anything. I'm a bit of a. I'm just like, I'll just watch it.
yeah. I like Lydia a
Yeah,
lot.
King. I watch
If
King when it.
anybody wants to learn how to play twins, they should watch Linksy. She's like world record holder
Jesus.
for the shortest game as twins.
Wow.
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
she's a twins main. And some of these leaps that she does as Victor are just incredible.
Right. Okay.
Dylan KG too. He's
I've
got a
heard,
really
yeah.
good head for the game. Those are the people. Even you. I like to watch people play killer, so that because I'm trying to improve my killer game, right? So I like the people who are explaining their reasoning when they're
Yep.
playing, because that helps me understand it
Yep.
instead of just talking generically or even in an entertaining way, making fun of the killers or the survivors when you're chasing them down. I like the people who are methodically explaining their
Twisted.
thought process to me
Yeah.
while they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this because I need to kick this gen because this is going to maintain my 3-gen strat. Those little nuances of sharing their thought process while they play. Those are the people that I like to watch play because I want to learn something while I'm playing, right? To make me better.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I watch a lot of content because that's sort of narrowed down, as you said, times of the essence. So yeah, I watch your videos, Kings and stuff like that. But watching streams, especially with the time zone different as well, it's very hard. It's very hard with work and stuff
even
like that.
Ott's, like the amount of work that he's put into his knowledge base for all of the perks and add-ons, and to be able to, okay, I'm going to give you the quick rundown of this is why I'm going to pair this with this because I want to do this and this is what I'm trying to accomplish in game. Like that's the kind of stuff that I like to watch.
Yeah, I heavily used to watch Otts and True when I first started. Yeah, just because the wealth of knowledge is just ridiculous. And I watch you and King because it's fun. It's a positive atmosphere. Everyone in chat's always nice. I like those kinds of places. Just having a good time. No, not taking themselves too seriously.
I've had people say they want to watch dev streams with me as a watch party because it's a more welcoming environment than the watching the live stream with the Fix Your Game crew.
Yeah.
It can wear you down, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So, but I get them come in my stream too, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess you're just banned on the DBD stream because like this is the place you came over to say fix your game, like,
Yeah.
because this is obviously a watch party. It's
Mm,
not the time or place for it. It's not all about you.
mm.
Like, read the room kind of a thing,
Yeah, some people enjoy.
So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Last thing, just family life, life at home. What's Paulie do on a day off? I think this is interesting.
what's Paulie doing on a day off? I mean, we've been under quarantine for a couple years here now, so
Yeah, yeah,
don't go out as much as I normally would. I still get out for the odd toy shopping, obviously. A little toy run to my
yeah,
usual spot, see what they got down at Hot Topic or GameStop or
yeah,
Toys R Us
yeah.
or whatnot. But yeah, I usually watch a lot of videos with my son. There's a few different genres he likes. He likes to watch slot channels, which are people who record their casino slot play
Right.
in the casinos and the jackpots and things. Those are fun when people win. It
Yeah,
also saves you a lot of money on gambling yourself,
that's
watching
also
other
true. Yeah,
people risk their money.
yeah.
We watch a lot of that, and we just recently got current on Peacemaker.
Okay.
We're on the first 4 episodes of that on HBO. That's the spin-off series by James Gunn from Suicide Squad.
Right.
Enjoy that quite a bit. I
Yeah,
like
with
a
John
lot of
Cena. Yeah, yeah,
superhero stuff.
yeah.
So gravitate towards superhero movies. It's one of my number one genres, I would say. I read a lot of comic books growing up. I'm familiar with a lot of these
Yeah,
storylines, like Captain America Winter Soldier. I was
yeah,
reading that before school in the
yeah,
80s. Flag Smasher. I knew all that
yeah,
storyline. Like, it's all old school stuff for me. So I enjoy a lot of that. And, I'm a stay-at-home dad. My son's disabled, so my wife is the breadwinner, and I just stay home, take care of my son mostly. And then we just hang out and have family time when she comes home. That's about it. I'm a pretty simple guy, I would say.
yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much like myself. I mean, I have a job as well to make ends meet, just to keep on top of things. But content creation is my passion. It's where I want to sort of push things. But at the end of the day, it's all for the kids, mate. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Dreams and aspirations for your channel. Do you have any sort of goals or anything like that moving forward? I mean, you've done quite well for yourself so far, but surely you've got other things you want to delve into. I know you got a couple of projects.
I mean, I'd like to get to 100,000 subs on YouTube. That's
It's
my
right around the corner, mate.
nearsighted goal,
Yeah.
just because I want to be able to deliver that the play button to my
Yep.
son and be like, we did it,
Oh, that's cute.
make good on my promise. Like, anybody could do this.
Yeah.
See, here's the play button.
Ha-ha! Yeah.
I told you anybody could do this. So what is it? 6. How many years later is it? 7 years later. Here we go. Easy peasy. Now you do it.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to give him the
That's
play
nice.
button just to be like, we made it, kid. But I'm always so grateful for all of the attention, the viewers, the people who enjoy my vibe and hanging out with me. I can't thank them all enough. It's been a wonderful ride. I don't know where it's going to go from here. I'm not a big goal guy. Other than that, I just kind of live in the moment and do what feels right, what makes me happy.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah. It'll be what it's going to be, right? I can't control it. So all I can control is me and what I do.
Yeah.
So that's what I worry about. And then, I don't really care what other people on the internet have to say about me, my detractors. I don't judge myself through their eyes.
They don't pay your bills, mate.
At the end of the day, the only people whose opinions I care about is my wife and my son, really.
100%.
Like those are the people who are in my life. So why would I ever give any weight to the words of strangers who aren't in my life?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice note to leave off, Paulie. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on finally. It should have happened sooner. I am sorry for not asking, but I am so glad you decided to come on for me.
I'm glad I did too. So I appreciate you having me.
No worries.
Hope I didn't talk too long or make this too long, but
it was a good podcast. It was a good podcast. And lastly, I just want to say we need to organize in the next couple of weeks playing a game together.
Anytime,
Yeah.
man. I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
I'd love to do
Maybe
it.
one day I'll randomly join one of your streams and say, hey, can I play or whatever or something like that. But they're always the time zone again. But
Yeah, I
if I'm
know
on a
it's
day
rough,
off,
right?
if I'm on a day off, we'll see. It'd be cool.
But hey, I have no problem working around your schedule and joining one of your streams too. If you want to do that,
Okay.
I can show up earlier, and I won't stream. I'll just hang out with you and vibe, and
Okay.
that'd be ideal for me. I'd love to do it.
That'd be awesome, man. I'd love to play with you. Paulie, thank you so much for joining us again. It's been an absolute honor and privilege. You're loved in my community as well. Don't forget, guys, show him some love. Give him a follow over on Twitch and also a sub on YouTube. He's a good guy. And if you're into the pop market, just look behind him. Just look behind him. All right, Paulie, thanks for being on, mate. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.